Sivaya Nama Thiruchitrambalam. Welcome back to our discussion on the 9th Tirumurai. With Lord Shiva's grace, we have already concluded 20 Tirupadikams, and today with his blessings, we are going to start with the 21st Tirupadikam. This is written by Venatadigal and it is written to the place called as Thillai, and the pun is Puranirmai. Let's look at the first verse. Thiruchitrambalam. thuchchaana seidhidinum பொறுப்பரன்றே ஆளுகப்பார் கைச்சாலும் சிறுகதலி இலை வெம்பும் கரிகொள்வார் எச்சார்வும் இல்லாமை நீ அறிந்தும் எனது பாணி நச்சாய் காண் திரு தில்லை நடம்பயிலும் நம்பானே. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். Today's verse links with a lot of realistic situations that we will be able to relate with, whatever is happening around us as of today. When we talk about the Indian tradition of cooking, usually we always talk about 6 tastes. In English versions, we don't even have names for those English versions. We have only a few, like sweet, salt, spicy, those kind of words. But there are 2 different tastes that we call it as. One is bitter, which is kasapu. Another one is the moment you eat gooseberries, you will have a feeling, right? That is considered as one another taste, which we don't really have an equivalent name. At least I'm not aware of that particular name. Now, in Indian tradition, we always, especially when we are serving guests, we always prefer to have all the 6 tastes, because medically also these 6 tastes are important for our body, nourishment of this body. Now, what happens when we dislike certain vegetables or certain tastes? Even those are not going to be thrown off. For example, bitterness. If it is bitter, it is still needed, because we all know heart functions better with bitterness. So, we still include those, like for example, neem flowers. Even today, we have a tradition of making something called as pachadi, especially during New Year. We include those. Same ways, when we talk about the baby banana, which is very not yet fully grown, usually we throw it off. But in my places, in my traditional places, we usually make a dish with that also. Now, these are tastes which is not so sought out for, not like ice creams or not like cakes and not like sweet or whatever, but still we seek those tastes. Similar to when someone needs a slave to work for them, whatever mistake the slave does, they will try to adjust, put up with that nonsense. The reason is we need slaves, so we have to put up with the nonsense, no other choice. Now, what happens in this particular verse is, the author says, Lord Shiva, I am also like a slave. I am also like some vegetables which is bitter in taste. But we don't throw it off. In reality, when you look at it, people don't throw it off, which means they really need those. Similar to that, I am also making mistakes. I am also full of nonsense. But the only thing is, I know only you. I have no other person in this world that I can look up for. I am such a devotee that I have already surrendered myself to you. Now, looking at my mistakes, you shouldn't be throwing me off. Rather, you should embrace me. That is what the author's request is for Lord Shiva. In other words, we should also start praying in this manner, because we are all making mistakes. And when we make mistakes, Lord Shiva is not going to throw us off, but all we have to do is just request to him again and again, saying that I do make mistakes consciously or unconsciously, but whatever it is, you have to show your grace. You have to make sure that I am getting away from this, and I'm going to be your devotee forever. That is what first verse is all about. I'll come back again with the next verse very soon. Until then, Sivaya Nama Thiruchitrambalam.